everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be talking about makeup that I want to see in spring of 2019. It's kind of a combination between predictions of what we're going to see in 2019 and also just what I want to see. Whether or not I think it's actually going to happen, I don't know, but I would love to see some of these things. Thought this would be kind of a fun video idea. If you're interested in this makeup look, I did film it. It's one of my winter looks with summer eyeshadow palettes mini series. Okay, the first thing, and really the thing that got me thinking on this video topic of things that I want to see, is new Milani lipsticks. I have my lipstick, my Milani lipstick collection right here. Let me just pull it out. Okay, so obviously this side is ColourPop, but this is Milani. So I was looking at the Milani lipsticks and I realized that, first of all, I don't think Milani has released new shades in a very long time, and I would love to see some new shades, especially in their matte formula. And I have to say, their matte formula, I like it a lot better than their regular lipstick formula. The regular lipstick formula is nice. It's not the most pigmented cream lipstick formula out there. ColourPop's Luxe lipsticks are better as far as pigmentation of their cream formula. However, the matte formula, I actually prefer Milani's formula over the ColourPop formula. I feel like the ColourPop one is a little bit too drying. Milani's where it's at when it comes to matte bullet lipsticks. I love them, and I would love to see new shades. I would love to see some, you know, sort of spring shades, maybe like mauves and purples and that kind of thing. A few more nudes can never hurt. I think nudes go over really well, you know, and deeper nudes for deeper skin tones as well as some lighter shades. I think that would be fantastic if they released maybe like 6 or 8 new shades for spring. That would just be so cool. Also, on the subject of Milani, I would love to see new blush shades. So this is my all-time favorite Milani blush formula, one of my all-time favorite blush formulas, period. These are their powder blushes or their rose powder blushes, depending on who you ask, but they have this beautiful imprint of the rose, and I have, I think, all of the shades that they have, although I am sort of going through and possibly decluttering some that I don't use, that don't work for my skin tone. But as I was doing that, I realized they need some more shades. One shade I would absolutely love to see would be like a lilac, like a soft, almost dusty, like a lilac purple shade. Oh my gosh, that would be so beautiful. It's a kind of blush that I wouldn't want to spend $25 or $30 on, but I would certainly spend, I believe these are like $9.99, I think, or less, depending on where you go, and you can always use coupons. I would spend that kind of money on a really pretty purple blush. I would like to see maybe like 4 new shades of blush, and all like in the purple family for spring. That would be so cool. They could have like a deeper purple, but like a wearable purple, you know? It doesn't have to be like bright, like grape purple or whatever, but it could be like a more wearable mauve-y purple leaning blushes. They don't have really anything like that in their collection right now. They have very wearable neutral shades, but just a couple still wearable but still fun shades would be so cool in these. And like I said, this is my favorite blush formula. Alright, next, I guess I'm going to kind of go by brand. So next brand I thought about what I wanted to see from, and that's the brand Morphe. First of all, we can take a break from influencer collaborations and eyeshadow palettes. I don't feel like there's really anything else they can do, although smaller palettes like these would be really cool if they wanted to do that, but I don't need that. I have these, I'm fine. Something I would like to see from Morphe is more face products, face palettes. I have this one. This is their Hi-Fi. They call it a contour and illuminator palette. It's really like a bronzer and a highlighter palette. That's what I would call it. I don't use these for contouring, but I use these for bronzing, and I love them. I love this whole palette. I really, really love this. I would like to see something like this that had bronzers, blush, and highlighters. I really want to try their blush palette, but it's 8 blush shades, and that's just too many. Like, I don't see myself using that, and I have lots of blush palettes already that have 8 or more shades in them. I would love something a little bit smaller that has other face products in it too, so I can do sort of my whole face with it. So a couple bronzers, 2 or 3 blushes, and 2 or 3 highlighters would be perfect. I would really love to try a palette like that from Morphe. I really do enjoy their face products. Also, their blush trios, I believe they have blush trios, and I've considered buying those, but I want different shades. I want more of a range of shade selections for deeper skin tones. When I look at a trio, I want all 3 colors to be something that I at least like imagine I could use, and what they have right now, I look at those and I don't see one that has 3 shades that I would use. So I would like a few more of their blush trios as well. Okay, let's talk about ColourPop. ColourPop, first of all, I've said this multiple times. I even did a video on my perfect ColourPop palette if I got a collab with ColourPop, what I would do. Basically, I still feel that way. They need an eyeshadow palette with some like deep greens, army green, hunter green, olive green, not like bright lime green, but like wearable green shades, and then mix in some like rosy berry shades or even purples mixed in would be really, really pretty. There's so much you can do, especially with the way that ColourPop likes to incorporate duochromes in their palettes and like glitter infused mattes, all of that. Go for it, just go crazy, but use the hunter green shades. I feel like that is something that people really love. Whenever there's palettes with those colors in them, people gravitate towards them. It's not just me, and I think ColourPop would be really smart to do this. So at least one palette, ColourPop, can we get with some like hunter army greens, please? Something that I don't necessarily really want to see from ColourPop, but something that I'm kind of predicting is going to come that I'm surprised hasn't already come, is pressed glitters from ColourPop. Lots of indie brands have these, and I just mean like the little individual pans of pressed glitter eyeshadows, and my guess is that the reason why these don't exist yet is because it's hard to make them eye safe. And obviously if ColourPop put them in like single pans, like their single shadows, they would pretty much look like eyeshadows, and it pretty much would have to be eye safe. I mean, a lot of their Super Shock shadows actually say that they're not eye safe. That's a whole different story. That's just, I'm guessing that's why they haven't done it yet, but I'm surprised they haven't done it, especially now that they have their glitter, body glitter formula thing or whatever. I'm surprised they don't have pressed glitter for eyes. It would be awesome if they came out with a really good, affordable pressed glitter formula, whether it's in single pans or in a palette. I would prefer single pans because then we can really pick and choose what we want. We don't have to have a whole palette. Or if it's just in individual compacts too, that's fine. Whatever they gotta do, give us some glitter that we can put on our eyes, please. That being said, I know they have their SuperNova shadows and their Super Shock shadows, so maybe they don't feel like that's necessary, but I just think that would be really cool to have an affordable option for pressed glitters like that from ColourPop. If you know of other affordable options, I know like Amazon has palettes, but like single pressed glitters like that, Wet n Wild has some, and they're good in a pinch, but they're not the best formula. But yeah, if you know of any other brands, let me know, because I'm curious. But I would like to see that from ColourPop in 2019. Okay, next brand that I have been loving this year, let's talk about Juvia's Place. I think it would be really fun to see some single eyeshadows from Juvia's Place, and particularly my favorite eyeshadows that they do. I mean, all of them are good. Their matte formula is amazing. Their shimmer formula is out of this world. I would like to see some jewel-toned matte single eyeshadows from Juvia's Place, and I would also like to see some of their shimmery metallic duochromes in single eyeshadows. Those are the two things that I love in my collection, and things that I don't think there's enough of that on the market. Deep greens, purple, blue, magenta, even red, like all those kind of really pretty colors I would love to see in singles. And then again, like I said, there's shimmery duochromes. They have so many. This is the Douce palette. This shade right here, it looks almost like a cream white, but it's actually very pink leaning, if you can see that. So that's like an example of one of their beautiful duochromes that I would love to have in my collection of single eyeshadows. I'm actually doing another series on my channel. It's going to be every month. I'm going to have a different theme of single eyeshadows that I'm kind of utilizing out of my collection just to get myself to use my single eyeshadows more. I'm kind of thinking more about what I need to add to my single collection, and that is something that I could definitely use. So Juvia's Place, if you could do that, that would be great. Thank you so much. Another thing I would like to see from Juvia's Place is more blush products. Kind of like I said with Morphe, I have both of the Juvia's Place blush palettes, Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're the Saharan, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and I adore them. They are fantastic. They're probably some of the best blush palettes that I own when it comes to not only quality, the quality is amazing, but also the color selection is so beautiful. It's definitely geared towards darker skin tones. If you have fair skin, you can make them work, but it's going to be more work because they're so pigmented. You're going to have to use a very light hand and be prepared to do some blending if you have very fair skin, but I think they would still be very beautiful on fair skin. Even I have to do a lot of blending when I use them sometimes. I think a new blush palette would be fun, maybe with like some of those purple shades like I was talking about with the Milani blushes. Just new shades of blush palette, I don't care what it is. And also it would be cool to have duos, like blush duos, maybe one shimmery and one matte, or something just like a little bit smaller so that people who don't want a whole blush palette can have still blush from Juvia's Place. So they could even do singles. I would prefer a duo though, because I think I'd get more use out of a duo, but that's what I would like to see from Juvia's Place. Really anything they do is probably going to be great because I do love that brand quite a lot, but those are some things that came to mind right away. Okay, now let's talk about Wet n Wild. I had to talk about them. I feel like they are the most of like a wild card. Like we have no idea. I have no idea what to expect from Wet n Wild in 2019. Like their Gothographic collection was not something I would have predicted in 2018. The Flights of Fancy collection was beautiful. The Zodiac collection, that was a little bit more easy to predict. We kind of saw the Zodiac trend rising. And then they've had like 2 or 3 other collections since that, and I haven't gotten those. But I feel like Wet n Wild's really good at releasing beautiful, affordable collections. I mean, you can buy their whole collections for under 50 bucks, and we're talking multiple face products, multiple eyeshadows, multiple lip products. It's a really cool thing that they do. ColourPop does the same thing. And I think brands releasing collections that people can afford. I mean, I know not everyone can afford every single collection, but still just having the opportunity to buy a complete collection for $50 rather than like $300 if it's a matte collection or something or more, it's nice to have that option. So I was thinking about a theme that Wet n Wild hasn't used yet and a theme that I could see them using, and one theme that I thought of, a 70s themed collection. I would call it the Peace and Love collection. So basically peace signs, good vibes, groovy. I mean, first of all, I'm opening a whole new world of puns for them to use because we know Wet n Wild love their puns. And as far as the colors, like I'm thinking pinks and oranges, yellows, fun stuff like that, but really you can go anywhere with that. And then the packaging, there's so much potential for packaging fun too. So I think that would be a really cool collection that I don't know if I would buy it. I mean, I'm not committing to buying any of these things if they come out because I'm on a low buy in 2019, but I think it would be a really cool move for Wet n Wild. This next one was actually me thinking about a product that I wanted to see and then thinking about which brand I think could use that type of product in their collection. And the product I thought of was a really good pastel eyeshadow palette. Lots of brands have done pastel colored eyeshadow palettes, but one brand that I don't think has ever done one is the Balm. And they are a brand that I love their eyeshadow formulas, and I have several of their palettes, but it's starting to get to be where I feel like all of their palettes are very, very similar. Like even like the Nude Tude. I have their original Nude Tude palette and I never bought like the Nude Dude and whatever the third one was. I never bought those because they were just too similar to the ones I already have. I like the Meet Matte palette. Same thing. I have the Meet Matte original and the Meet Matte Nude, I think it is, or something. I just haven't bought any more because they're just too similar for me. I would love to see something with a little more color, and since we're talking spring 2019, I would love to see a pastel eyeshadow palette. There's so much potential here. They can go crazy with the theme. I mean, the Balm is so good at their themes as well. It would be really fun to see a pastel eyeshadow palette from the Balm. So that's what I think. That's what I want to see. And then lastly, I put Too Faced on here, and again, kind of like I said with Wet n Wild, I feel like Too Faced is pretty on it with their themes. Like, they're really good at picking fun, trendy themes. So I don't have a theme in mind that I want to see necessarily. One of my favorite products from Too Faced is their melted lipsticks, the matte formula and the melted original formula. I miss Too Faced releasing their melted lip formulas, either matte or the original. Both of those I love and I miss them, and I think that they should continue to release them. I hope they don't give up on those formulas because I like both of them. Alright, that's everything I have to talk about. Now I would love to hear from you guys. What would you like to see in spring of 2019? I love thinking about this. It's so much fun to just kind of brainstorm about makeup. It's so much fun. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. If you're not subscribed already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of videos coming. I'm working really hard on my consistency and my videos, and it would mean so much if you would follow along for the ride. So thank you in advance for that. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate you so very much, and I will talk to you again very soon.